A real exciting night for competition. A lot of them and a lot of good, hard-hitting trucks that we haven't seen, Ken.
Specifically different-sized engines, different make engines, and as you say, a nice blend of California and Midwest.
Good variety of motors. We got some big 600-plus cubic inch Rodex on hand, even some larger cast-iron motors. The track is excellent. They're going to put the tall gear in. They're going to make the tires spin fast. To really put on a good show, they're going to have to really hook the motors hard out of the hole.
Not only that, inside, shorter track, even the bigger-sized engines are more competitive with the smaller ones.
It'll be real close. I wouldn't worry about going up against the 600-inch motors tonight with a small 487 or something. I think the track will even it out on the end.
The place is Oakland, California, and Budweiser presents the U.S. Hot Rod Truck Pull Championship Series, featuring the Battle of the Monster Trucks. And this telecast is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, and proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Welcome back to the Oakland Coliseum Arena. Mike Galloway and I have made our way from the floor up to our little perch here, and we're going to get a chance to see right out of the chute a truck called Misconception. A 41-year-old grandmother behind the wheel, Peggy Jones of Arcata, California, 69 Ford. Her husband Harry's the mechanic. And I was talking to Peggy beforehand, Mike, and she says it brings them closer together. Their hobby is their life.
I imagine it does. A lot of husband and wives travel together and seems to help a lot. And notice this truck, when we'll get a shot of it in a little bit, looks as it has no rear fenders. The trucks all have to have some kind of covering over the rear tires, and they have got close to that with a couple of little chrome fenders that just hang out over the rear tires. It's perfectly legal. It says that you have to have a bed, not a flat bed on these trucks, so they have the sides coming up on it. That's all cold rolled steel. And then the little small fenders on the side of it makes for a good-looking truck, and this truck hooks very well. Peggy is a good, strong competitor. She reads the track well. She drives extremely well. I think she'll be tough to beat tonight.
Her husband, as I said, the mechanic, he's also a logger. They live in Northern California, and this is the Misconception. Well, 100 feet and in trouble.
The rear drive shaft came out of the truck. She snapped off the U-joint going into the rear end on the truck. Twisted the rear U-joint completely out of it. But you see the silver, those are protective rings that keep it all enclosed so it will not go anywhere. Hooked very well. The truck really sounded good. It's making good motion and really good ground speed. She's hooked up extremely well, but watch the back of the truck. Watch right there in that area, the back of the truck lets go. Pops up in the air, unloads the truck. The rear drive shaft came out of it.
And a broken yoke sends Peggy Jones to the tow truck man. Peggy Jones, the victim of a cruel yoke.
Well, Ken Brew, all sorts of personalities on hand tonight.
My goodness. That's the man there. I think it's the man. It's the dog, that's for sure.
Forget the man, that's the dog.
Right, that's Spuds. Taking in all the action here in Oakland tonight. Like his shirt, too. I like this truck. This is a truck that was once rhapsodized by Paul Simon. This is the one-trick pony. Dan Ribeiro behind the wheel from Tulare, California. He tells me it's just north of Bakersfield. It's an 80 Jimmy, 620 Rodak. Loves the Rodak, he said, because if you blow the engine, heck, all you got to do is just weld it.
That's the initial expense of the motors, of the aluminum motors, are quite high in compared to the cast iron. But the big thing about them is that, as you mentioned, if you knock a piece out of the side of them, they can be welded back together. They're dry block. You don't have to worry about getting into the water jackets or getting into the cylinders. They're sleeve dry block motors. They're almost indestructible. You break them, you fix them, they go again. And this good-looking GMC, and these boys are very proud of a GMC truck. It's a father, son, and uncle combination. They're in the dairy business, and they run a real fine truck. He's one of the toughest in California.
Dan Ribeiro. Good-looking truck and a good-looking pull for Dan Ribeiro and the one-trick pony.
Ken Brew, that was an absolute excellent pull. The weight box running up the ramp very quickly. hopping real close to the 150-foot mark as Dave Ribeiro raises the body up and lets you take a look underneath this truck. And, you know, this is not only a show part of the truck, but it's also very convenient when you work on the vehicle to get up and get next to it. You change the valve, set the valves on it, or change the plugs or something like that. Makes it a lot easier to get into the truck when you have a tilt body. Let's watch him as he comes out. He leads with the truck real hard. Doesn't roll with it, mash the throttle. He does it right out of the hole. The truck hooks well. You can see all the tires are dialed in. He's throwing up some good kind of dirt and a real fine hook for one-trick pony. That's going to be one of the tough ones to meet tonight. I really think that'll be one of the top hooks of the evening. One-trick pony, Dave Ribeiro from Tulane, California, comes in with a measurement of 160 feet, 10.5 inches.
Good run for Dave Ribeiro. And now here is a truck called Hard 8. This is Gene Casatorto from Morgan Hills, California. He's, as you can see, with a 73 Ford, 580 under the hood. His sponsor, the guy that built the engine, the Reddick brothers, figures he gave them about $30,000 worth of business. We'll see how it works now. Hard 8. And that's about 150 feet the hard way, too.
It was a good hook, Ken Brew. Real good hook. He's not going to be there at the lead, but it was a good hook all the way around. The truck really dug into the track. It had good traction all the way down. I think he did a great job of running that side of the track. A good early number really is going to help. And that'll be a fine mark.
And this is Yellow Fever. Jim Massetti behind the wheel from Madera, California. It's a 41 Dodge Military, a classic, a complete classic.
Well, in 1941, Dodge was only building vehicles, utility vehicles for the military because of the war that was coming up. And this truck was probably considered a ton and a quarter. Now still running military transfer case and rear ends, but a very good hard hooking truck.
And restored by Jim Massetti. Painted yellow and called the Yellow Fever. He's got 481 under the hood, and he's got the green flag to boot.
It's a good running truck. It really hooks hard.
A little bit of a hesitation at 50 feet. What happened?
That was intentional. I think he backed out of the throttle a little bit, trying to slow the tires down enough to hook to the track and then get back on it. And I believe it really did him some good because he wasn't getting too good a ground speed before the little hesitation. And we'll take a look at it as he goes down the track. Now watch him. He nails the motor real hard off the starting line. He gets the tension tight in the chain. Here he comes. He's really hooking hard. But right in this area, you're going to see him lit up for just a minute. When he gets back in it, he hooks real well. The tires come in contact with the track. They slow down enough. He really gets a good hook. Takes him down around the 150-foot mark.
We'll be right back from the Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California in just a moment.